Thank you so much, Mr. Narayanan, for joining us at our Global Leadership Summit. I just want to begin with a bit of introduction. ISRO has been a very, very close part of India's growth story and will continue to play a very important role in the Viksit Bharat vision by 2047. What is the size of the global space economy? Ladies and gentlemen, according to the McKinsey report, the global space economy was about 630 billion US dollars in 2022. This is set to grow to 1.8 trillion US dollars by 2035. What is India's size of it? Currently about 2 to 3%, 8.2 billion US dollars. This is set to increase to 44 billion by 2033. The Indian government, along with ISRO, has been rolling out several reforms we've launched in space so that ISRO and InSpace together can mentor startups. There is a FDI policy for the space sector. We've significantly liberalized FDI almost up to 100% to encourage investments in private companies. You also have a venture capital fund for startups, which is almost to the tune of 1,000 to 1,500 crore rupees. So what more is ISRO's ambition? What does Mr. Narayanan see that ISRO and the private sector can do together? Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by speaking about the Bahubali. Yes, just a few days ago, India launched its heaviest communication satellite. It was a 4,400 kg LMV-3M5 that was launched. Mr. Narayanan, a proud moment for you, isn't it? Could you tell us, what does the Bahubali satellite say about India and ISRO's abilities?
Thank you. As you introduced, on 2nd November, we have successfully placed, using our Bahubali rocket LVM-3, the CMS-03 communication satellite, which is the heaviest satellite ever launched by Indian launcher in the geotransfer orbit. And this is going to bring lot of benefit in the communication area. In fact, when I look at the launch vehicle, this is the launch vehicle, this is the 8th successful mission of this LVM-3 rocket, built totally by India. And today, we can say one of the launcher what we are having has performed 100% reliability, all the launches going through successful. Again, when we started this countdown for this mission, we had to face tough weather situation. Then we were thinking whether we had to postpone the launch. Then after thorough analysis, with the entire team, we decided to go ahead with the launch. And today, it is a successful story. And India has placed the heaviest communication satellite in the geotransfer orbit using our own launcher. In fact, a similar rocket, similar communication satellite, 12 years back, we had to go abroad and launch. And we have built the capability today and we have launched. It is a proud moment for all the Indians, not only ISRO team, the entire Indians, not only India, across the globe. And we have accomplished this mission.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the ISRO team for the launch of the big Bahubali satellite. Mr. Narayanan, when it comes to collaboration with the private sector, today India has approximately 350 space startups. You've been mentoring them. Could you give us a sense of what do you really want private sector companies in the space domain to do? Also, if you could give our audience a sense, this is a very serious audience who are looking at opportunities in the space sector, in the defense sector, very, very closely. I'd like you to give us some vision in terms of our import dependence right now and where the private sector can come in to complement ISRO and our space ambitions.
Well, let me address this question in two parts. Number one, our program started almost 63 years back and we have built almost 6 generations of launchers and 134 satellites. And currently there are 56 satellites in the orbit serving the common man of the country. And these numbers have to be taken to at least 3 times based on the vision of Honorable Prime Minister in another 2 to 3 years. That is what we are talking. And whenever we talk about a launching taking place or a satellite being placed in the orbit, out of the entire money, almost 80 to 85% is pumped in the private sector for the hardware realization. For example, this Mark III vehicle, what we have launched a few days back, almost 80 to 85% of the fund for realizing that vehicle has gone to both the private and Government of India undertaken companies for realizing the hardware. That is one aspect. Second thing, it was 2020, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and the Government of India rolled out the space sector reform. In fact, when the space program was started, our idea was to bring the benefit of space technology to the common man of the country. We were not looking at it, to be frank, the business model and that area we were not concentrating. Today, as you rightly told, the total space economy, global economy is something around $630 billion. And when we really reviewed, our share is hardly only 2%. And this number has to be increased. And this the space economy is going to be almost $1.8 trillion by 2035. And we are putting a target, ambitious target of 8% of that amount. And we are working towards that. Thanks to Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji for the great visionary leadership, great thinking. He and the Government of India rolled out the space sector reform. When the space sector reform was rolled out, hardly few startup companies were only working. Even though 450 industries are contributing for our program, they were like a vendor type of work only was done. But today, something around 330 startup companies are working in launcher build-up, in satellite building, in utilizing the satellite data. Huge satellite data is available. Utilizing the data for the benefit of the common man on real time, and people are working in that area. And Department of Space, as Secretary Department of Space, it is my responsibility to handhold them and ensure the space ecosystem in the country is growing in a different level based on the direction from Honorable Prime Minister. Towards that, lot of things are put in place. There is a in-space system for promotion and authorization. We have brought a new system, and which started almost 3 years back. And the government is really supporting in a big way the financial incentives in terms of technology adoption fund, venture capital fund, and common technical facilities. Because when somebody is starting a space activity, if he has to invest huge money, it is not possible. So common facilities we have established, and we are totally hand-holding them. It is not that private companies or startup companies are doing the work on their own. We, the ISRO team, the Department of Space is hand-holding them for enabling a vibrant space ecosystem in the country. Thereby, we can contribute for the Viksit Bharat 2047.
All right. Sir, I would also like to ask you, and this is something that startups and the space sector would like to know. Are there more reforms in the offing? Are there certain measures that you are considering as head of the Department of Space, as the ISRO chairman, to maybe make it easier for space companies to operate, maybe attract more investments from global players into India?
Yes, answer is yes. In a single statement, I can tell the answer is yes. Because when you look at the demand, say there was a time 50 years back, our first space application was rolled out only 1st August 1975. Until then, there was space, but there was no space application in our country. And today, when I look back, there are 50 space applications which are there. And today, I cannot think about a country, a common citizen, without this space program and space application. 50 years back, that was not the case. The application goes every area. Let it be ensuring food security, water security, disaster warning and management, and connecting trains real time, monitoring the borders, ensuring safety and security of common man of the country. Everywhere it goes. And also there is a lot of opportunity for the economic growth based on this. When you talk about a space ecosystem growth, it brings lot of economics. The growth of the country is going to happen. It brings lot of potential job opportunities, and lot of things are happening. And we are open for international cooperation. We are allowing even foreign companies to invest in our own area. And when you look at, the demand, I would like to tell a couple of examples, then probably you can understand. 1979, we built the first launcher and we placed in the orbit successfully in 1980. The capability of that vehicle, it was done by project director was none other than APJ Abdul Kalam ji. The capability of the launcher was just 35 kg at that point of time. And today, our operational vehicle, the Bahubali rocket capability is 10,000 kg to low Earth orbit. Now, we are conceiving and building launches for placing 40,000 kg, 80,000 kg type of satellites in the low Earth orbit. And the demand in terms of satellite requirement for the country is huge in numbers. Whatever we are having is very, very small. Something around 56, 57 satellites in the orbit is very, very small for a country with 140 crore citizens. It is very, very small numbers. And we have to enhance these satellites so much. Second thing is, yes, we are having lot of satellites and so much data is there. And this data should be made available for the common man. One example I will tell you. Right. There was a time, if any natural calamities happen and if the people, the farmers have to claim the insurance, what is the type of time involved? They have to go approach the insurance company, they have to come, assess, and it is a 2 to 3 months process. But today, using the satellite data real time, in 5 minutes, you can demonstrate what was the situation before the calamity and what is the situation, and people get the insurance just released. And like that, this is one application I have told. And there are so much application which is possible. Thereby, we are encouraging not only Indian companies, other companies also to contribute for our space ecosystem growth. And Honorable Prime Minister is rolling out all the measures, whatever is required for the space ecosystem growth of our country.
Mr. Narayanan, so I'll pick on one thing that you said, that you are looking to launch in future 40,000 kg, 80,000 kg satellites. Now that is big. Bahubali was 4,400 kg as a communication satellite. So when can we see the launch of a 40,000 kg or an 80,000 kg satellite?
Let me clarify one point. Our Bahubali rocket, right now you have placed 4,400 kg in the geotransfer orbit. I am translating everything to LEO orbit. If I translate this payload to LEO orbit, this is equivalent to 10,000 kg. Let me clarify that point. Now, with respect to 10,000 kg, we are talking about 40,000 kg, 80,000 kg, this type of capability we are talking. Now, we are already, the NGLV project is approved, and maybe in another 6 to 7 years, we will have the capability of placing 40,000 kg to low Earth orbit. 40,000 kg is 4 times of this present Bahubali rocket capability. Then, Honorable Prime Minister has given a guideline for us to work on crewed mission to moon, taking Indians using our own launcher to moon, land them safely and bring them back safely. For that, we have to build launchers capable of taking 80,000 kg, 75,000 to 80,000 kg to low Earth orbit. These are all targeted by 2035 time frame.
So by 2035, we'll be able to put an Indian on the moon, sir. Is that what you're saying?
2040, we are targeting place on the moon. 2040, we are targeting to place an Indian on the moon and bring them back safely. To enable that, by 2035, the rocket should be ready.
Okay, 2040 is when...
once rocket is ready, we have to accomplish a couple of uncrewed missions, then only crewed missions.
Right, so 2040 is when we're looking to put an Indian on the moon.
40,000 kg capability will be built by 2032, that type of time frame.
All right, thank you, sir. I'd also like to ask you about the Bharat Antriksh Station. Very recently at the Space Day, the Prime Minister announced plans to have a Bharat Antriksh Station. Now, experts also say that this will require a lot of investment initially and also to maintain, maybe around $3 to $4 billion annually. Why is a Bharat Antriksh Station or an India space station very important for us, and what's the role for the private sector?
Let me answer like this. Say, 50 years back, if somebody would have thought that we are going to develop a rocket, satellite, lot of people are questioning. And when we are talking about our own moon mission, Chandrayaan type of mission, people are asking question, why this is required? There are so many people who go gone and come back. What for it is required? But dear brothers, I want to tell you one thing. Even though so many people have gone and landed and lot of things have happened, it was Indian mission, Chandrayaan 1, of course, along with USA support, we only found water molecules for the first time on the moon surface. Please understand, man has landed on moon in 1969, but it was recently, 2008, it was Indian mission which found water molecule on the moon. And today, when you talk about a space station, it is a need of the hour for India to have its own space station. That is the program what Honorable Prime Minister has announced, the Bharatiya Antariksha Station. It is a 52-ton mass space station with 5 modules, because we cannot, nobody will lift as a single module. We are planning to lift as 5 modules, and the government of India has given approval for the first module. Now, if you ask about the benefits, number one, there are a lot of technological developments. Second thing, lot of microgravity experiments can be carried out. In biomedicine, biomedical area, in manufacturing area, in materials area, in so many areas, so much experimentation can be carried out. And again, when you want to go for deep space missions, interplanetary missions, one is, yes, you always take off from Earth and move. And this can be a via media, a space station in between. For example, if you have to go to moon and land and come back, it can be an intermediate station which can be useful for that type of purpose. Another thing is, say today we are talking about, a lot of satellites in the orbit. Satellite in the orbit, and we are also talking about how to reduce the debris content in the orbit. And there are ways and means of reducing the debris content. One is refuel the rockets, refuel the satellites. Another one is, if satellite something gets into some trouble, you catch hold of them and do some repair work and reuse. So a lot of things are possible. So the space station is going to be highly useful. And this is the time. Suppose when we got independence, the country's stature was a particular stature. Today, we are the 4th, economic status-wise, we are 4th in the world, and we are aiming towards becoming the 3rd level. And it is the time, Honorable Prime Minister, it's the right decision, he has rolled out this program, and it is going to be highly beneficial in long term for the humanity and for the Indians.
Right. Mr. Narayanan, what would be the possible cost of building this space station?
It will be, in today's amount, approximately 12,000 to 15,000 crore is the type of amount what is required.
Right. And this will all be brought in by the government, or are you looking at a public-private partnership?
Say the first module, the entire approval is given by the government, and remaining, we have to take a call on this. But I want to tell you one thing. When we talk about this type of things, the hardware realization, which consumes almost 70% to 80% budget, this is going to the industries. And you can understand. Otherwise, the funding part today I cannot comment. And for the first module, Government of India has totally funded.
All right. I'd like to ask you about investments in the space sector. We saw a slowdown in space investments globally in 2024. It was a 55% fall compared to 2023. Why do you think the investments in the space sector, including in the Indian space sector, have been falling? And what would be your advice to the private sector in terms of the kind of solutions they should be looking out for? What is the kind of value addition for the future that could change lives, that could be useful for people like you and me, and that could actually attract investment? So what would be your advice to the private sector?
My advice to the private sector is, if you do a small study, we have started the space program something around 63 years back, and till today we have built only 134 satellites, and we have accomplished only 103 launch vehicle missions. But as a country, when you look at, for example, take Sintur operation. For Sintur operation, the satellite has to be utilized, and the entire activities happened in one portion of the country. Now, if the entire country has to be monitored and the safety and security of the citizens has to be ensured, the number of spacecrafts required are huge, and it is government alone cannot do. And the launch vehicle requirements are so much. Another thing I want to share one point. Say we had recently, based on the guideline from Honorable Prime Minister, 63 government departments are using the space data, satellite data, like Agriculture Department, Water Resource Department, Railways, and then, of course, Airport Authority and the IMD. So many departments are using. And all state governments, for one way or other, they are using the data. And we had a user meet with all the people, all the user department, all the state government. You know, almost 90 reports, each running into 200 pages as the requirement document has come out for next 15 years. We have summarized everything. Now we are taking forward. I can only tell to the private sector, the space demand for our country is huge. The satellite demand for our country is huge. When we talk about a developed nation by 2047, that stature, there are a lot of things has to be done. And space is going to contribute in a very, very big way. The internet connectivity, disaster warning and mitigation area, connecting trains on real time, and connecting automobiles on real time, and reaching out to all the citizens, and so much, and ensuring food security, water security, telemedicine, so much application. In fact, if you allow me to talk on application, I will talk 5 hours on application alone. That is the type of demand. And you know, for example, you take lightning as one of the disaster. There are people today we are losing, and we are working on that area, how to have a advanced forecast. And earthquake, we are working on that type of area. So thereby, I can tell the space is going to be a very attractive area, and government alone cannot do. It is the private sector, the startup companies who have to really come forward, and we, as the Secretary Department of Space, as part of the government, we are there to handhold. And I can assure those who have worked in the space.
Mr. Narayanan, you know, one question.
Worked in the space, never, ever, only one point. Those who have worked for us in the space program, never, ever, they have got a loss in the game. Always they have grown along with us. That much I can tell in a single statement. So we are welcoming all the industrial partners and auto companies to work with the space
Mr. Narayanan, if India has to become a developed nation by 2047, how many launches do we need to have per year?
In my opinion, I think Honorable Prime Minister has recently clearly rolled out, first to your question, at least 50 to 60 launches, 50 launches minimum per year has to happen. This is what current thinking. And when I joined in this organization 41 years back, one launch once in 3 years. That was the story. And from that, almost a launch per month we have come. That means 12 launches per year. Now this number has to go at least 4 times. This is the direction. This is the guidance given by Honorable Prime Minister. And we are working towards that. And we will achieve this in another 4 to 5 years time frame.
Right. My final question, sir. It's been excellent having you here at our Global Leadership Summit. My final question, one personal vision of Mr. Narayanan, our ISRO chief, something that he wants achieved during his tenure. If there's one project close to your heart, which you hope that India achieves in probably during your tenure or in the next 10 to 20 years, what would be that dream project for you?
I will give you 2 projects. First one, the Gaganyaan program, the Indian human spaceflight program, and sending our own Gaganyaan 3 to space and bring them back safely. We are working for quite some time. And right now, it is not ISRO program alone. It is the Indian program. It is a country program. And I want to accomplish that program. Right now, we are working on the uncrewed mission. And we have to have crewed mission. And of course, then after completing 3 uncrewed missions, we have to go for the crewed mission. So that is one of the activity. Another thing is, our country, when we started our space program, we used to move our rocket pods using old bicycles. I think you all may be knowing. From that, today, 10 places we are number 1 in the world. 10 places. And at least few more places we want to become number 1 with the contribution of ISRO during my tenure. This is second target what I am having in the mind.
All right. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the ISRO chairman. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time to showcase your vision for India's space sector, the opportunity for the private sector to step up as well, and the kind of value addition, the kind of products we should be looking at, and also giving a challenge to the private sector to at least look at 50 to 60 launches per year. Thank you once again for being with us here at our Global Leadership Summit.
Thank you, Dr. Narayanan, and thank you, Parikshit. Thank you, Dr. Narayanan, and thank you so much, Parikshit. Let's zoom out for a moment because across boardrooms worldwide, 2025